Hi, I'm Jacob Skrabarsik, and I'm here with my three partners, Nick, Austin, and Joseph, and we'll be presenting the Hyatt walkway disaster. Some background on that: construction began the construction was ordered in 1976, and began in 1978, and was finally finished in 1980. It was a fast track job, and after its construction, there were several events held there, and one of the events, the tea dance, during it, around 7 p.m., the walkways on the second and fourth floor collapsed, killing 114 people and injuring excess of 200. The engineers in charge of the project were Jack Gillum and Daniel Duncan. They were both accomplished engineers, and Jack was in charge of an engineering firm, and at any time was in charge of 50 to 100 engineers. They were associates before the project, and were, like I said, both well-accomplished engineers. They were later charged with gross negligence, and in history were known to be the first two engineers to have their licenses revoked due to any kind of accident. Nick will now present the next part.
Hello, I'm Nick, and I'll be going over the structural analysis for the walkway collapse. The ideal loads on both the fourth and second floor walkways did not meet the criteria for the codes of ethics. The loads on both floors were not the cause of the collapse, but it was the overload of the rods that was changed last minute. Moving on to the codes of ethics, in the mid-1970s, the construction was not finished, and as well as the code of ethics were not finished as well. The Article 3 was removed from the Code of Ethics due to the violation of the antitrust laws, and it turns out that there's three aspects that bothered that Code of Ethics, and one was that it did not express the business aspects of the walkways. 2, it was too negative, and 3, it didn't express the concerns to the public. And now, Austin will be moving on to the communication part.
Communication was a large problem with this disaster specifically. The main problem with it was the fact that the steel fabricator and the structural engineer have many overlapping responsibilities. However, the engineer had meant for the fabricator to take care of the design for the box beam hanger rod connection. However, the fabricator did not know this. See, the fabricator believed by the diagrams that the engineer had given them that the engineer had only meant for them to be taking care of the diagrams for the actual plan. However, the engineer meant for the fabricator to be taking care of the design for the rods that would hold up the beams. And now Joseph with the next part.
Our recommendations, we had a couple. We could improve the fee structure of the architects and engineering firms. What I found was that when someone wanted to start a project, they would try and find the firm with the lowest fees, and that usually reflects the quality of work that they're getting. And there's basically just these wars going over the price and who has the lowest price. Another thing we could improve upon is the better job management. The engineers come out of these great colleges and they have all the principles of analysis and design, but they are poor managers. They don't allocate the manpower, time, or money properly. Another recommendation would be to enforcement of national and local building codes. Section 305 of the 1982 Uniform Building Code requires 5 site inspections, and in certain cases, more inspections for special projects. That's it.